Mitch McConnell, ladies and gentlemen, is running for re-election in Kentucky. Appears to be leading. He can taste the majorityship. He can taste being majority leader of the Senate. He's a hustler. He's a wheeler dealer behind the scenes. He's been known to verbally threaten conservatives behind the scenes, particularly at their weekly Senate Republican caucus lunch. In any event, he was interviewed by my good friend Neil Cavuto yesterday, and he did everything he could not to say anything. So Neil Cavuto says to him, what about repealing Obamacare? Cut 7, go.
I'm sorry, sir, but it sounds like what you're saying, that repealing the medical device tax might be the more doable of those options when it comes to the Affordable Care Act. A wholesale dismantling of it, likely, unlikely.
Well, it would take 60 votes in the Senate. No one thinks we're going to have 60 Republicans. Right. And it would take a presidential signature. No one thinks we're going to get that. So the question is, what can you do about it? Well, I'd like to put the Senate Democrats in the position of voting on the most unpopular parts of this law and see if we can put it on the president's desk.
Now, notice not a word about the best interests of the American people, that Obamacare is killing the private insurance business. It's killing private insurance policies. It's driving up your deductibles. No, it's all politics. You see, I want to cherry pick and choose those parts of Obamacare that I think are unpopular, vote on it, pass it, put those on the president's desk, even though we know he won't sign those, so he can get some political, issue out of this for 2016. And some of you are bobbing your heads up and down. That's right, that's right, that's right. A few years ago I had a man on this program by the name of Congressman Paul Ryan. And I asked Congressman Paul Ryan, why can't you guys repeal Obamacare the way Obamacare was passed? It was passed, ladies and gentlemen. It was passed as a budget bill, or part of a tax bill, I should say, which requires 51 votes, not 60. And at the time, Paul Ryan said to me, 85 to 90% of that bill can in fact be repealed that way. So it doesn't take 60 Republican senators to vote and actually legislatively put on the president's desk a repeal of 85 to 90% of Obamacare, whether he signs it or not. It takes 51. And Paul Ryan wasn't the only one who said it. 2.5 years ago, Mitch McConnell said it. Cut 6, go.
Yeah, the Chief Justice said it's a tax. Taxes are clearly what we call reconcilable. That's the kind of measure that can be pursued with 51 votes in the Senate. And if I'm the leader of the majority next year, I commit to the American people that the repeal of Obamacare will be job one.
Did you hear that, folks? Yes. This is a program that is based on integrity. Integrity of the process. I'm not going to sit here and just bash Democrats and bash Obama, although I could, and for damn good reason. But all of these people have to be held to account. Mitch McConnell yesterday told Neil Cavuto the opposite. It takes 60 Republicans in the Senate to repeal Obamacare. 2.5 years ago, on Fox News Sunday, on the very same cable network, he said they can do it with 51 votes. I again am going to play you what he said on Neil Cavuto yesterday, and then play for you what he said 2.5 years ago. And I want to know, is anyone going to hold this man to account as he's on his way to re-election, as he's on his way to becoming the Republican leader in the Senate? Because it is clear he has no intention of using 51 votes of the Republican new majority, if they get it, to repeal Obamacare. All of you people who are losing your doctors, who are losing your health care, your deductibles going through the roof, and all of you people who haven't felt it yet, but you will. I just want you to understand that it is a Republican who appointed John Roberts, who voted for Obamacare, that it is a Republican Congress and the next Congress, should the Senate turn Republican, that refuses to repeal it. And if Mitch McConnell can say, we want to put the worst aspects of this bill on the president's desk for political reasons, why doesn't he put the whole damn thing on his desk for political reasons? And the nation would support him. Again, Cavuto's show, Mitch McConnell yesterday, cut 7, go.
Sorry, sir, but it sounds like what you're saying, that repealing the medical device tax might be the more doable of those options when it comes to the Affordable Care Act. A wholesale dismantling of it, likely unlikely.
Well, it would take 60 votes in the Senate. No one thinks we're going to have 60 Republicans. Right. And it would take a presidential signature. No one thinks we're going to get that. So the question is, what can you do about it? Well, I'd like to put the Senate Democrats in the position of voting on the most unpopular parts of this law and see if we can put it on the president's desk.
So what the hell does that get us, folks? They said that idiot Kevin McCarthy, the number 2 Republican in the House, they want to show they can govern. Is this how they're going to show they can govern? Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse crap to deceive you? And here's what he said July 1st, 2012, 2.5 years ago on Fox News Sunday. Cut 6. Go.
Yeah, the Chief Justice said it's a tax. Taxes are clearly what we call reconcilable. That's the kind of measure that can be pursued with 51 votes in the Senate. And if I'm the leader of the majority next year, I commit to the American people that the repeal of Obamacare will be job one.
If I'm the leader of the majority next year, I commit to the American people that the repeal of Obamacare will be job one. A commitment from Mitch McConnell means nothing. It means nothing. We've gone from it would take 60 votes, so he is intentionally raising the bar required to do what he said would take 51 votes. He said it 2.5 years ago. He said, if I become the majority leader, repealing Obamacare will be job one. Now he says we'll throw a few cherry-picked items at the president that are unpopular for political reasons, but it takes 60 votes in the Senate. It does not take 60 votes in the Senate. It takes 51. The way it was passed, the Supreme Court said it's a tax bill. The Senate has a process in place under reconciliation where you can't filibuster it with 60 votes. It's 51. So he talks tough when they're in the minority. 51 votes. We'll repeal this damn thing. And he had to know back then, when he said it, that Obama was still president of the United States. Or would be. Or might be. And now, because they feel they've got this thing all wrapped up, a wave election, maybe not a wave election, whatever kind of election, now suddenly it takes 60 votes. There's a reason why you're cynical. There's a reason why you're frustrated. There's a reason why you're disgusted. And I'm with you. If I had just told you what the man had said, it wouldn't have registered as much as hearing what the man has said. I mean, how can you say, on the one hand, yesterday it takes 60 votes, and on the other hand, 2.5 years ago it takes 51 votes? Well, you can't, not while I'm here. Some people have said vote Republican and we'll hold them to account. I say vote Republican so we can get rid of Harry Reid and try and block Obamacare, but you're never going to hold this guy to account. He'll be in office another 6 years. He'll be more arrogant than ever before. He'll think that he defeated conservatives in the Tea Party. He got a number of his buddies elected. They're going to be worse than before. They're going to be awful. And Obama's going to be worse than before. He's going to be awful. And Kevin McCarthy, the number 2 Republican in the House, is going to look for ways to get bipartisan support to do what? To unravel the federal Leviathan? To cut spending? To have real tax reform? To secure the border? No! Here's the problem. I explained it the other day. The trend, the trajectory, is in only one direction. When they talk about bipartisanship, It moves us to the left more gradually than it might otherwise, but it moves us to the left. It's never bipartisanship for federalism. It's never bipartisanship for tax reform, a flat tax or a fair tax. The conservative agenda is never front and center. It's never the subject of debate. It's never the subject of elections. It's never